It is 12:01. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone studios. College baseball, the Tennessee Vols celebrated their College World Series championship with the parade in Knoxville on Tuesday. Only one day after Texas A&M fell to the Vols in Game 3 of the championship series Monday, it was announced Aggies head coach Jim Schlossnagle is leaving College Station to take the head coaching job at rival Texas. Schlossnagle reunites with Texas athletic director Chris Del Conte, who was his boss during his time as the head coach at TCU. They had the introductory press conference today. Two former members of the Nashville Predators were voted to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame on Tuesday. Former general manager David Poile and former defenseman and captain Shea Weber were each part of the 7-member class. The induction will be in November in Toronto. The NBA draft begins tonight in Brooklyn at 7 p.m. on ESPN. The Atlanta Hawks hold the number 1 overall pick. Tennessee star Dalton Knecht will be in attendance and is widely projected to be a top 10 pick. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Howdy. We are live and ready to go. Welcome in. I am Joe Hunk, sitting beside the hitman, Blaine Bishop, as we are broadcasting live from the game terminal, as we are just about, 2 hours away from Arcade Dub.
Yeah, the first annual, right?
First annual Arcade Dub.
Yeah, I like to be part of the first or something, man.
And as not only are we sitting here,
we'll never forget it. I mean, we never forget Kirby, but
no, Kirby's here, Eki is here, Christian's somewhere. But here's the thing, also, they got us on a couch.
Oh, this is lovely, man. This feels like, man, it may get out of hand here.
We are sitting. We're sitting like the.
We're waiting
VIP
on the wings
area.
and the vodka tonic coming and everything else.
We're sitting here in the VIP area. We've got 2 wraparound couches.
Oh, this is nice.
And
man.
we are sitting out. And if I said 200 arcade games, I may be shortchanging it.
Ooh, with a bar and food.
There's bars. There's food. There's pinball machines. There are racing. I've already found Fast and Furious on the back corner, which I will challenge anybody in.
And all the old school people, Gallagher and all that, yeah.
Got Galaga. I see something called Anteater that I've never heard of that I was going to play.
Yeah. Kirby's familiar with that one.
All these games I've got. There's an Aerosmith pinball machine right behind Blaine.
Oh.
Now, we're going to get
private room, too, man. There's private room when you come through the door there. Right there.
We've got, actually, there's 2 bars that are here. There's one that's going to be set up. There's one for Arcade Dub that we've got going on.
Pac-Man room.
They've got all these VIP stuff here at Game Terminal. The cool thing is for Arcade Dub, and Blaine, it's over there on the table right there in front of our private bar that we're going to be rocking and having
VIP
list. There is a bowl, and I mean a humongous bowl full of coins for us to play whatever games we want throughout the day for Arcade Dub.
What?
There are coins sitting up over there for all the arcade games.
So they're trying to keep us here all day.
Oh, we're going to be here the whole time.
All day. You better come join us, man.
Right in front of us could be the greatest arcade game known to man, known as NBA Jam.
Oh.
Right behind Eki, NBA Jam. This isn't like a modern version of it, of NBA Jam. Scottie Pippen is on there. They got Isaiah Thomas. All those.
Indiana, man. I remember Isaiah Thomas, man, back in the mid-'80s, right?
Yep.
So it's the early 80s.
So right now on Zone TV, we're audio only. We're about to get the video going here in just a little bit, you can watch us.
Kirby broke the camera.
He did.
So we had to get a new one. CJ came to the rescue and helped us out and brought another camera since Kirby broke the camera.
Yeah, so you'll be able to watch us here in just a few minutes on YouTube, Facebook, X, as well as Twitch. Obviously, the phone lines are open at 615-737-1045. And I'm already going to preface this, Blaine, by letting you know that here in about 5 minutes, I'm about to down a Red Bull, and this is about to get even worse.
What? Don't do it. I don't even want to tell you the last time I had Red Bull what happened to me.
Baby girl's been up for 2 straight nights.
I don't indulge on Red Bull or any energy type drinks.
Yeah.
The most energy. Okay, I have to take that back. Black coffee is that in that?
Well, it's got some caffeine. It wakes you up a little bit.
Right, that black, and I didn't start that till I was doing the morning show, so I'd never done black coffee till then.
No, normally I drink something called an amino drink. I normally use it as like a pre-workout.
Aminos?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But today, baby girl's been awake. It's been up for like the past 2 or 3 nights sick, so I only get about 3 or 4 hours sleep each night.
Oh, that's me right there.
So
He's
we
on
about
5
to
hours sleep.
There's a Red Bull sitting right over there in my bag.
No, do not do. Well, All right, so we got CJ here ready to take the handles in case things get out of control there with you, and you keep thinking you're going to catch one of these flies.
I'm going to catch one of them. There's one fly.
737-1045 the zone. Anybody who has ever caught a fly off their leg or flying around you, call in so I can convince Hunk that he will not have a shot at it. And I want to know your background, too, when you just are good at it. You got great hand-eye coordination. What is it? Because he thinks just because he was a baseball player, it's going to happen.
There is one fly that's just hanging around my leg, and I swear.
Well, that's because it smells the honey.
It does. It does. And I got some, tea tree oil on the face right now. It's smelling that. Look, it's going to happen.
Is it your mohawk or something?
No, yes, it's for the mohawk. It's for the mohawk and the hair, and it's for making the skin and all that not so ashy. Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
man, we're taking care of everything over here.
Yeah.
But we need to get Zone TV going up here in just a second because I swear when I catch this fly,
I want it.
There's going to be a victory dance. I'm going to catch this.
So Hunk has a victory dance?
Oh, we're going to make one up in the next 20 seconds.
Oh, so
it happens.
It's another inaugural.
It is going to be on the fly.
First of the first.
Yep, and I promise you, I'm going to catch this fly before the end of the day. I'm going to catch it.
Oh, man, I want to see it, too.
I'm going to swat it down just like Texas is swatting down Texas A&M this morning.
I've definitely swatted down some flies, and I'm like, dang, why can't I catch one? But I can smash them, but I cannot catch one.
Yeah.
It's almost like they feel the roof. And they go.
Well, see, and that's Texas A&M. They booked it to the SEC. They booked it thinking we're good. We're out of the shadows.
Yeah,
we're good.
No.
And then
Schnorsnagel came into play. Is that how you say his name?
Schlossnagel.
Yeah, Schlossnagel.
Yeah, Schlossnagel.
Yeah, I like that.
The idea was that Tony Vitello might be going to Texas. And then less than 24 hours after A&M loses the national championship, Schlossnagel is peace. I'm out of here.
No, bro, he ripped someone to ask him a question about it after the loss too. Now that was high sign that something was up because he had no need to do that to that. That was an honest question.
No, and in fact, Jackson has this. Now, this was right after the national championship game. Tennessee celebrating on the field. Texas A&M is going in, and Texas A&M has going. They've talked to themselves. They've had the locker room meeting, everything like that. Schlossnagel is sitting, and he's like, all right, I'm going to take my questions. Obviously, you're pissed because you just lost the national championship. And then he was asked this question to wrap up the press conference.
Coach, with respect to the difficult outcome tonight, but with the rumors circulating today about a specific job opening, what do you have to say about your future in Aggieland?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. But I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind. And that's unfair to talk about something like that. That'd be like you asking Montgomery if he's going to sign in the draft. But I understand you got to ask the question. But I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job, and I've poured every ounce of my soul in this job, and I've given this job every single ounce I can possibly give it. So write that.
Whoa.
What'd you think when you heard that?
He got upset that it got leaked. This is my initial reaction. He got upset that it got leaked to one of the reporters that he was going to take the Texas job. And then that what made me really think that was true was that Texas made it official, I think, the day before the championship or was doing the World Series, that they're their job was open.
Yeah, they fired the head coach during the finals.
Right. So that led me to believe that they knew all along, and that it probably was done before the whole World Series started.
Well, and that's what it makes it sound like. Because
he had no business going off on the guy. He said that was a selfish question. Like, come on, get serious now. You didn't even have. All he had to do was say this is not the time or the place. He could have went all kind of other directions to answer that question. Here's what I would say. He needs to call that reporter and apologize.
Oh, absolutely.
And say, hey, man, that was my bad. Made a mistake. I was still a little emotional after the loss. And, hey, it's my apologies. Matter of fact, I want that same person to show up at his presser at Texas. Yes, that's what we need.
Coach, I got first question.
Yes. Because they were polite even how they asked the question. They didn't really go all in. It was an indirect question. I thought it was fabulous. I mean, you could have done a better job maybe asking how you wanted to ask it. But, hey, man, he didn't try to, go, and
every single beat writer, anybody that covers a team, when this stuff starts to pop up, you're going to ask the question.
Right.
Like, think
when
about
are you going to have him again in an open media setting?
Absolutely. Like Mike Vrabel, for instance. Like last year, Vrabel got that question. He didn't like it, but they had to ask it. Buck had to ask it. I mean, all the media members that were there in attendance, Teron Davenport, had to ask it. So you have to ask the question because you've got an article that you're writing and you at least need some sort of quote, even if it is, hey, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on the fact that my team just lost the national championship game. The final out was made 10 minutes ago, and I've got ball players still crying in the locker room because their career's over. Let me think about that right now. I'm not even thinking about tomorrow.
Right. And write that.
Yeah. Like right that. Don't sit there and call him selfish for saying this.
Yeah, that was bad.
Because look, I don't know much about like the behind the scenes of being a coach and getting hired, but I've been in a lot of relationships in my life, good and bad. Most of the time when you accuse somebody of cheating, it's the one that yells the loudest is the one that's not cheating or that is cheating. And so you're trying way too hard to defend yourself.
Oh, my.
You're way too adamant, and that's the only thing. Every time something happens, I always bring it back to if this was a relationship, how could I connect it? That's it.
Well.
And that's how I could connect the dots. But then you look at now, Texas, 5 days away from joining the SEC. July 1st, Oklahoma and Texas officially in the SEC. So when we come back, ask you, what is worse, a coach going to the rival or a player going to the rival?
Ooh,
because
this is a great question. We got to put that out, 737-1045, and we tweet that out. Yeah, that's a great one.
We'll tweet it out. We'll get everything going. We're live from the game terminal, RK Dub, starting at 3 o'clock. We have got bowls and bowls of coins for you to come in and have fun and play all of these amazing games here at the game terminal. We're even going to try to get Blaine to play it. Mr. I didn't play video games when I was young. We talked about that yesterday, and we're hanging out now in the game terminal.
But we're at the game terminal. A lot of people see here couches and games. They may think we're at a different location than what we just said. See how that sounds?
This is amazing.
Private room, couches,
VIP areas, all of that.
But it is game terminal.
Game terminal. That is where we are at. We will continue. Next, we are brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Nashville's summer stars are making a splash, and I'm not just talking about the rain. So don't wait until you're in the dark to think about whole home generators. So act now and keep your family comfortable through any storm. It's time to shield your home with surge protection. So score $50 off when you book now with Cool Ray, because why let lightning crash your party? And are you feeling like your electrical panels are stuck in the Stone Age? Well, upgrade now and save $200 with our sizzling summer promotion. Let's bring you home into the 21st century. So you can also dive into Cool Ray's plumbing summer promos. Replace that old water heater and score $50 off tankless one of $50 off a tanked model. So worried about what's lurking in your water? Well, get peace of mind with free water quality testing, and it's on the house. So got slow drains bring you down? Let Cool Ray tackle them with a $93 or free drain cleaning. And if Cool Ray can't get your drain clean, it's on them. So Nashville, why sweat it out when you can keep your cool with Cool Ray? Let's make your summer a breeze and visit coolray.com, or you can give them a call at 615-724-1878 today to snag some of these sizzling deals. So Cool Ray, keeping Tennessee cool, plumbing right, and lights bright.
Broadcasting live from the game terminal as we are here at 201 Terminal Court. Joe Hunk, Blaine Bishop. You can see us on the couch.
Yeah? Are we live?
We're live on Zone TV now. We got the camera
I can't
set.
see that far. I just saw your arm go up. But I know he's playing California, but we are in Nashville, and I know a lot of people are moving from California, and people think Tennessee is turning into California with all the cranes and everything downtown. But we are in Nashville, Tennessee at the game terminal.
Yes.
Having a ball right here in Joe Hunk's game room right here.
This is
with a bar.
You know what? I will proudly make this my game room.
Yeah.
I will proudly make this my game room. Arcade Dub is going to be starting at 3 o'clock. We've got VIP areas going. We've got a bowl full of coins that you're going to be able to play whatever game that you want to throughout the game terminal here. And we got the nice game terminal sign up directly behind us.
I saw you there.
See?
That's
See, now we're going good. Now we got everything going. Now we can relax.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, man. You can hook up everything and do everything, man. You're a jack of all trades. Kirby, bye, Kirby. We don't need you anymore.
Oh, no, we need Kirby. We need Kirby.
Kirby was outside doing the internet connection. He was putting up a big circle thing on the side of the building and everything else, man. So we appreciate what Kirby does there. But you were handling the inside and he was getting the outside.
I did.
It done. You got it done, man.
Zone TV chat is
I know
is up
nothing
and rolling.
about what you were doing. I had no idea. I couldn't give you any instructions on how that could help you.
So no, and here's what was. So we're talking about the event going on tonight, and in the chat right now as we got going, Idiot Garage says RKW, you mean 3HL at 3? No, 3HL is broadcasting from here at 3. Arcade is starting tonight at 3.
Yes.
So that's when doors are opening, and we're going to be all hanging out, and we're all going to be playing video games, no matter if it's pinball, arcade, racing games, every bit of that we're going to be able to do. So FNM Bank chat is going now, but during or before the break, we were talking about Schlossnagel and about how
head coach of Texas A&M.
No, the head coach of Texas.
No, he was the head coach.
Yeah, he was the head coach of Texas A&M, becomes the head coach of Texas. In fact, his press conference was about 4 hours ago, where they introduced him and all of that. So
in Austin already?
They've already had. It's not like the drive is that far.
I wanted the reporter to be there that he schnozzle-nagled.
Yeah, like Mr. Schlossnagel. With all the rumors going around right now, what do you think?
I wish that guy would have been there to ask that question again.
Do you think this affected your judgment in the 7th inning when you put your pitcher in and he just got rocked by Tennessee's offense? You already thinking about Austin, Texas? Like, just curious.
Yeah, he definitely was. I wonder do we know what his salary was? I know Texas A&M and Texas, that's a huge rivalry. Texas A&M had the edge because they were in the SEC now, and now Texas joins them. I'm just wondering how Texas A&M let him Texas. Like, man, they should have. Man, we're going to do everything in our power.
5 days away from Texas and Texas A&M joining the SEC. And now Texas and Oklahoma, not Texas and Oklahoma, joining the SEC. And now the head coach, and not just the head coach, people been a little while ago, the entire staff went to Texas.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
they all bolted. Hitting coach, assistant coaches, pitching coaches, everybody.
So that means it was all done.
Yes.
It was already done.
Everything is done. So I asked you right before the break.
Right.
What is worse, your coach going to the rival or your players going to?
Because there's some players that already have left and entered the portal.
Right.
Which is,
no, not just a player has entered the portal.
Players.
One of Texas's best players entered the portal.
Oh, Texas, not A&M.
Texas A&M's best players entered the portal.
Texas A&M players entered the portal already, right?
That's the one that hit the home run last night.
Wow, so you lose your players and you lose your coach. So,
yes.
Wow.
All right, so what I am so here in just we got about 3 minutes before we're going to a break here because I've been instructed that we need to. So we're going to go to break, and then we're about to talk for a long, long time as we're getting everything set up here from the game terminal.
Okay.
All right, so the question is going to be, which one's worse, coach or player going to your rival? 615-737-1045. He is Blaine Bishop. I am Joe Hunk. This is 104.5 The Zone.
This summer, NASCAR is back at Nashville Superspeedway, June 28th through the 30th for the Ally 400 race weekend. That's right, guitars and fast cars right here in Music City. From the campgrounds to the track, you won't want to miss the excitement. This is the fourth year that Ally has been the entitlement sponsor of the Ally 400. And the first Ally 400 was in 2021, was the first NASCAR Cup Series race at Nashville Superspeedway since 1984. So be there this year and be part of history in the making. In the three previous Ally 400s, there have been three different winners. So see who better this year. In true Music City fashion, the Ally 400 will have a pre-race concert with a soon-to-be-determined artist. More details to come. Watch your favorite driver take on 1.33 miles of concrete chaos. So visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to lock your spot at the Rackley Roofing 200, the Tennessee Lottery 250, and the Ally 400 right now, today.
WeGrowHair.com. That's the website for the place that has been called PAI now for more than a quarter of a century. WeGrowHair.com. So you drive around Nashville, you see the billboards, you see real people and real results. Maybe you're a real people and you're ready for some real results with your own hair. Maybe you just started losing it, you noticed it. Maybe somebody was kind enough to tell you, you know how that goes. Maybe you've been losing it for a while or you lost all of it a long time ago. No matter where you are in your hair loss journey, I would imagine you don't want to be there. So why not do something about it? WeGrowHair.com. Now, the first time you go, they'll take some pictures. Their team are experts. They'll show you, here's how you got to where you are. Here's why you are where you are. Here's how we fix it. And they'll work with you on how you pay for it. And they'll show you all the different technology options because they have a bunch. And they'll figure out what the best course of action is for you. And they'll put it together. And guess what? It'll be the old you again with your own hair growing on your own head. Come on, man. Call them today. Permanent natural results from the company you can trust. PAI Medical Group. WeGrowHair.com. Don't wait. Call now. 615-376-6010.
Joe Hunk, Blaine Bishop, the Hitman, broadcasting live from the game terminal, 201 Terminal Court here in Nashville as we are getting ready for Arcade Dub. That is going to be starting tonight at 3 o'clock. We got people that are already in the Zone TV chat that are saying that they're going to make their way down here, try to be here close to 3 o'clock so that we can all have fun. We've got a private bar. We've got VIP areas. And you can see a lot of this all on Zone TV, where you can watch on YouTube,
3HL
Facebook,
be here.
X, Twitch, and 3HL is going to be on the couch.
I don't know. They can't take our couch. You know, this is your personal stuff. So I think they're going to be at the bar tables up there.
What's great is during the break,
because Slay's going to be here.
Oh, Slay's going to need leg room.
He got to have a sleigh ride over there by the bar.
He does, and this is. Trust me, 3HL broadcasting from here and Arcade Dub doing this from here. Oh, this is about to be a wild thing. So 3 o'clock is when it all gets started. But we asked right before the break about what is worse, your head coach going to the rival or your players going to and playing for the rivals. Now, Schlossnagle just got announced, or was just formally announced by Texas in Austin as the brand new head coach.
Wow.
Now, what's interesting about it as well is that just a little while ago we found out that A&M's one of their best players, their outfielder Jace Lavalette, who had the home run, he just entered the transfer portal. And so it's like, wait a second, is this going to be one of those things? Because remember, when your head coach leaves, it doesn't matter what sport it is, you have 30 days. Every player on that team has 30 days that they can transfer. Also with baseball.
That's for all the sports?
All sports. Also, right now, we are in the open transfer portal time period for the NCAA. So it's like June 2nd, I want to say through July 5th is when the open period is for the transfer portal, not counting when coaches leave or anything like that. So he could hit the transfer portal even if Schlossnagle didn't go to Texas. But your head coach leaves, one of your best players leaves, and which one is worse to you in your mind?
Well, at the college level, I think it's always about the coach. And unfortunately, that shouldn't be the reason why you decide to go to a university. But, players follow coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have success and you have a history of success, I think the coach leaving is a lot tougher. Now, it does depend on the position. Now, if you're a quarterback and then you leave from one, you just started going to another, that probably hurts a lot too, especially in football. But I would say the head coach. I mean, just think about some of the elite coaches. If they left and went to another program, how many people would follow them? I mean, we talking about some great ones. I mean, even Lane Kiffin, if he left Ole Miss, nobody was going to Ole Miss then. Like they are now.
No, absolutely not.
So that shows they're following him.
Right. Well,
whether we don't talk about Nick Saban and all those guys, but I'm talking about
he left. He left LSU and went to Alabama.
No, he left LSU and went to
Miami.
Dolphins. He went to the Dolphins.
Right.
So it still happened. I mean, at some point in time. So yeah, you're right. I think they follow coaches. So I think the coach, in my opinion, is probably a little more impactful for the college game than the actual players.
Well, see, and I'm somebody that I do believe, like you were talking about, you shouldn't go to the school for the coach. I had bad coaching experiences when I played at some of the schools I played at. So, like, I am somebody that's like, if I could do it all over again, I would choose a program based on the coach.
No, and you should. You should. I mean, yeah.
Because again, I just had bad experiences. And so, and the reason why I feel sometimes I lost my passion for the game was because of the coach. So a lot of that plays into this whole dynamic of Texas A&M got Schlossnagle from TCU because they wanted to be in the College World Series because that's what he was doing with TCU. Like every single year, TCU was making it to the College World Series from the Mountain West before they were even doing anything college football-wise. Like they were a better baseball program than when they were a football program. So they take him, and now he leaves Texas A&M and goes to Texas. We had somebody in the chat, Lonzo, says that coach would probably hurt more than a player when it comes to college.
Yeah.
But player over coach when it comes to the pros.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. That's why I distinguished in college that the coach is probably different because players follow coaches. I mean, there's a pattern history in coaches who win. You want to go to a successful program or you want to go who develop your position group. There's a pattern there.
Absolutely.
So, Yeah, I think college is definitely the coach. And the pros, I think it's about the players.
I mean, look at primetime.
Yeah.
I mean, primetime left Jackson State. When he went to Jackson State, there were only players that went there because of him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like,
no doubt.
Look.
There's only people in Colorado because of him. I mean, look. How you want to.
And nothing against HBCUs.
No.
But
nobody was going to Jackson State.
The
just
number
because of the
one
coach.
player in the country was not going to go to an HBCU.
No.
Because of anything other than the coach.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis Hunter goes to Jackson State, and then the moment Prime leaves, he goes exactly where Prime was. Like that's happening, especially in 2024. I mean, 2024, it will be mass exodus for a lot of teams.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
Because do you think that will change, and even for me, in college, because I think it's the way it is, not only because of the actual coach and the coach's success, but also his pay. He is the highest paid employee. Now that college players can get paid, maybe in certain sports, I'm going to just say football, will it change a little bit and become more about the player, because maybe the player is making some big dough too? Maybe not more than the coach, but will it start swinging a little bit in the other direction? That's what I'm getting at, because I would have never thought it would swing in the other direction a little bit until now with the NIL and how many. Just think if Nico they make it to the 12-team playoff, and it's because mostly his success, right? His development as a quarterback.
Say he's a Heisman contender.
Right.
Say he's got, 30 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Big gets out how much he's getting, in NIL, and, what he's getting, 4 or 5, whatever the number is a year, and people go, what?
Heck, that was the case before he got here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of era that we're in. But see, a lot of players now can use that success. If you're not eligible to go into the draft, they can use a coach leaving as an excuse to say, wait a second, I've been here for a year. Do I like the facilities? Because again, you spend more time in the facility than you do the stadium. So the facilities matter. So you go to a school and you're like, hey, you know what? These facilities are all right. Like, I can work with this.
Well, Ball State's facilities was not good.
Okay, not Ball State specifically.
I know.
Like, I mean, come on. If you
I know.
Dude,
well, they are now.
We didn't have facilities at my school, man. At UA Huntsville.
Oh.
That's where I finished up.
Oh,
you know what our facilities was? It was a batting cage that was behind the bleachers in
Sometimes
the locker.
I think it builds character and unity amongst the players, more so than having the great facilities. And I get, facilities does help, because some people are into all the flash and glamour, so I get it.
But they can't use it to their advantage, where they're like, oh, our offensive coordinator's leaving. In your head, you could have said, you know what, I really didn't like him anyway. But you said, you know what, my value now, my NIL value, because players get this on the regular now, they can say and go, you know what, if I enter the portal, maybe there's an advantage for me somewhere else that even I didn't know about, because coaches, I'm doing quotation marks on Zone TV, you are not supposed to be contacted by other schools until you hit the transfer portal database. But these players are going, wait a second, if I'm making $1 million at Tennessee and my OC leaves or my DC leaves, then I can hop in and Oklahoma's going to offer me $2 million, $3 million, and I can go there.
And you're a starter?
And you're a starter. I mean, look, for instance.
Why? Well, you don't believe that you're going to still be the starter when the new guy comes in?
Well, it could be about development. Bo Nix is a perfect example of it. Bo Nix was at Auburn. He was not being developed very well. Him and Brian Harsin did not have a great relationship as far as him feeling like he was growing where he needed to be as a quarterback. He started every
But that's not the coach that recruited him.
But the coach that recruited him was Malzahn.
Right.
And so you go through this period of time, and then he graduates from Auburn, enters the transfer portal.
As a grad,
goes to Oregon, and then he goes to Oregon, and he was drafted in the top 15 this year.
Right.
He would not have been drafted in the top 15 if he would have stayed at Auburn.
Right.
But the coach, he felt that the coaches weren't developing him.
Right.
So he went and found somewhere else that he could be developed.
Well, I want a situation where it's the same coach, not a different coach that recruited you. So because then that would be really interesting if you left for $1 more million.
Right. And I don't know if we have, and I could be wrong, you can hop in the Zone TV chat, the F&M Bank chat, and you can let us know if there's a player that our coach that's coming to your mind with that. Because for me right now, we're only 3 or 4 years into this NIL era that there's not enough data to support something like that.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because I think players are getting or players are letting themselves get caught up in getting manipulated. And when I say that, I'm saying that it's the money game. And so since you have never played the money game, sometimes following the money, it's not always the best decision.
Oh, 100%.
So if you start making decisions based off of money, sometimes it may not be, especially when I say it's just doubling down on what you was making. But if you're the starter and you're just leaving because the other guy offered you more money, well, now how about you just leverage that to stay where you're at if you like where you're at? And then maybe they don't double it down. Maybe they give you half of that extra or something. But sometimes if you got a good situation, don't always follow the money. It's like taking a job. Sometimes you say, man, I'm in a great situation. I don't know what's over here, job opportunity. They offer me more because you're trying to see what's out there. But I don't know if I really am comfortable with not knowing what it's like in their structure in that job.
Didn't we used to say this like 4 years ago about the NFL draft?
Right, that's what I'm
players
saying.
Like juniors are like, I'm coming out of the draft,
right?
Because they want to make the money. They think they're going to make the money.
So now it's trickled down to college because they are now getting paid. So now guess what's going to trickle down? How guys are going to look across the corner and say, "Oh, the third string running back is making more money than me in college, by the way, and I am a starting defensive end,
and you're going to
defensive tackle, and you're going to start getting pissed that he is making more than you." And this is what goes on in the locker room. In pro sports, people get pissed at another guy, and he's not really the guy.
Yeah.
And so the jealousy starts, and I said this was going to happen, and it is going to happen, and it is happening in the locker room.
Look, it's not just, fans that are hopping on On3's website to look at the NIL values and all this other stuff. Players do that as well.
Yeah.
Like, players know all of this information about their teammates because they use it as motivation sometimes. Just, like you.
No, I did not use money for the motivation.
Just like you. I'm talking about finding things to use as motivation. Not you as using it for that. I'm talking about finding things to use as motivation in the game or in practice or something like that. Like, again, like we're sitting right across from here, and sitting to the left of the Zone TV camera is Eki. And I'm looking at Eki, and if Eki's making $20 million, first off, congratulations, and I'm making $10 million, but I'm getting more receiving yards than Eki is, dude, I'm looking at Eki, and it's pissing me off every single day we're at practice, and I'm going to want to show out in practice just to show that I'm worth more than him. But then it's going to go bubble down into the locker room, and you're going, yeah, we're not going to get you that 10 more to match Eki. Sorry about that. We're not going to do that. And you're like, peace out. I'm done. I'm going to the transfer portal. I'm done. But
I would have a little different integrity there as far as I'm looking at it from a coach's perspective and my players, and that is, if the money is what motivates you, I'm probably not the guy that you want to play for my university. Because guess what I want you to play for? Because the money will come. This is something I live by. The money will come if you play for the right reasons. If you're playing it for the money, it won't come. See, so that is not the guy I want, because then every time reason why I say this at the college level, because every time somebody offers you another bag, you're going to leave. If you're playing for the money, play for the passion and your work ethic, and the money will be there for you. You got to believe that. So I'm not real big on the guy who comes to me if I'm a coach and says, hey man, they doubling down on the $2 million. Guess what I tell them? I'm making $1 million, $2 million. I'd be like, oh, go ahead, have at it. Because you know why you can do that to college? There's 50 billion other players out there that you can put in this spot. I don't care if you was a starter or not. Not unless you some Heisman Trophy candidate or some All-American. Hey, man, have at it. Because I have to set the standard of how I'm going to run my university and my football program, and I can't let that happen, because once he does that and I up it, guess what he's going to go tell all the other guys on the team too? No. You got to set the standard, draw the line at some point. And if you're going to play for the money, then you're probably not at the right place. Like,
do you think that
trying
coaches,
to get more money? No, we're not going to play that game.
Do you think that coaches in 2024 are having to balance that off in a way?
I think
they haven't figured it out yet.
I think that's what frustrated Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like, hey man, we got a third string running back asking for $500,000. I'm like, dude, you play like 10 reps. What are you talking about?
No.
So,
and that's why, like, again, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that are coming out. This is football-wise.
I don't think it's about coaches figuring it out. Mm-hmm. I think it's about coaches don't want to deal with it.
Don't want to put up with the crowd.
Right. I think that's and to me, how you get that out is like you just don't, hey, man, keep it moving. There are 50 billion high school players, 50 billion guys in the portal. You can go get another good player. If they're just a good player that's a starter, man, you're not going to pigeonhole me in as a coach like that unless, as I said, you're an All-American or you're a Heisman Trophy candidate. Well, there's a different standards for different players. Your star players going to have a different layer of expectations and how much they get paid than just a good starting player in college football.
Well, you turn around and yesterday we talked to Coach Mack. You can go back, listen to it on our podcast. We asked him about this dead period between the mini camps and OTAs and training camp. With head coaches in football and even baseball, this doesn't happen. Like we were talking to Ben McKee yesterday as well. We said, talking about Tony Vitello and what he's doing. And even Ben said, hey, next week they're already back at recruiting players. With Lavalette coming out, I keep saying his name is, Jace. He's now in the transfer portal. Like it makes me think like, all right, well, did Tony V and him, like was there any conversation, not between Tony V and him, but did he look at Tennessee and go, I could really do some damage there? No. Like looking at that, or is he going to follow his coach to Texas?
You can look at Tennessee right now and say there may be opportunity because a lot of guys are leaving, right?
Absolutely.
So and then you want to play for a winning coach. It's like, hey man, see if we can recreate that in some form or fashion.
Well, but that dead period you don't get in college anymore because like where right now, Coach Callahan, both of them are being able to at least take a breath. Something like this happens, and now you're having to recruit your entire roster. And like you were saying a second ago, I just don't want to put up with it. Yeah. I just don't. There's never a second that you can breathe.
Coaching is a tough deal, man. They're well deserved all the money that they're making. You're on all the time. I know some of these guys. I'm like, dang, man, do you ever shut it down? Like, oh, right now, no, that's hard to actually even do. I mean, you got 3 or 4 phones. I mean. You're always recruiting at some point in time, even in the portal. So they're talking about, you can't be talking to players. Man, people are talking to players right after the game. What do you think is happening?
What do you think they're doing when they're shaking hands?
What's going on? Hey, you like your situation? Hey, man, I mean, they recruited them coming out and they just didn't get them. Hey, man, things don't go well. DM me. Yeah. Nobody's tracking the DM.
Do you think that doesn't happen in life? You go to the rest. Say you're hanging out here today at Game Terminal. You're hanging out here at Game Terminal with a guy you hadn't seen in months. You're like, man, what are you up to? Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You happy with that? No. Well, I may have something. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, it just happened chance that you see each other and you're talking. And next thing you know, he goes back to work. He's like, man, this place sucks. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to call my buddy. I want to see what's going on. Like, that happens in everyday life. You think that these guys aren't going to be doing that? Plus, you look at situations now where in this dead period you have – yes, Will Levis is going to go on this retreat with his wide receivers. You think, though, that he may not go with, like, his personal coach or something like that, and he sees a wide receiver that he's going to sit there and talk to and be like, whenever something's up, man, just let us know. Like, oh, your contract's up here next season. Just let us know. Like, that sort of thing.
Like I say this, and I say this out of respect, and I don't think I've said it to him. His face is a little big. But, like, Albert Haynesworth was a dominant player. But when his contract was the year before his contract was up, he played totally different. I said this at the time. He became defensive player of the year in the NFL, right?
Right.
They said, we should have re-signed him. No, they shouldn't have re-signed him because we got to see what the money made him go after, and those are the players you don't. Because as soon as you get the money, you're going to shut it down. See, so you should have been playing that way the entire part of your career, or pretty much all the way up to that 4 years. Because then the guy is playing for the money. He went to a whole nother level of chasing that cash, that bag. You don't want that guy. You want the other guy, the guy who was playing the same way even when he knew he could get the bag because he was going all in and trying to get it from the beginning.
A lot of players got the bag this offseason, and in fact, a lot of them supposedly made their team have a lot of improvements that we have seen. but which team in the NFL has actually improved the most going into the 2024 training camp, as we're about a month away from right now, as we are broadcasting live from the game terminal, 201 Terminal Court. Blaine Bishop, Joe Hunk, brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. This is 104.5 The Zone. Good afternoon from the game terminal. I'm Joe Hunk. As just a little while ago, Jim Schlossnagle was introduced as the Texas Longhorns' brand new baseball coach. Actually, shortly after that, we also found out that Texas A&M outfielder Jace Laviolette has entered the NCAA transfer portal. While all that's been happening at Texas A&M, the ABCA, which is the American Baseball Coaches Association, named their National Coach of the Year. And yes, it was Tony Vitello. Right now, the Braves and Cardinals are in game one of their doubleheader. Braves are leading the Cards 4-0. Game two is scheduled for a 6:15 first pitch. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols. This is your flagship station for your Tennessee Titans. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Get on certain internet.
That's right. We are live right now from the game terminal. 201 Terminal Court is where we are located at. In fact, I was talking to the owners just a second ago, Blaine, and the way they describe getting here is if you think you're lost, you're almost there. If you think you're lost...
That must have been Kirby who said that.
Yeah, if you think you're lost, you are almost there, as we are broadcasting live here as well. 3HL is going to be coming in here in just about an hour, as well as Arcade Dub gets going tonight. There are specials. Happy hour specials are going to begin at 4. You have their wing and fries specials. It's not specifically for Slay, but yes, it is. As you can get those as well. They have a happy hour menu that they're going to be doing tonight. And I was also...
margaritas, too.
Yeah, margaritas. You got well drinks, draft beer, everything. They even have Jell-O shots already in the refrigerator, as I saw that just a few seconds ago. So all of that is here at the game terminal as we're going to be hanging out until 8 o'clock tonight. You're going to get that fly, aren't you? Trying to get that fly Friday, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
I'm trying
Nobody
so hard.
called in because nobody's ever caught a fly out of the air. I think I've seen it one time. It was unbelievable. I could not believe it.
If I catch it, I promise you, Zone TV, Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch, there's going to be a happy dance on Zone TV if I catch this thing. So all of that is going on today, as we've talked about. But the other thing that we found out here a little while ago is that on ESPN, they were talking about the NFL teams that have improved the most this offseason. And when I saw this, I was like, hold up. Like, first off, Titans have got to be on this list, right? With as many moves as they have made, they have got to be on this. And it was Marcus Spears doing this.
This big swagoo.
Big swagoo was doing this list. Now, his top 5 most improved teams going into the 2024 training camp, at number 5, he has the Baltimore Ravens. At number 4, he has the Houston Texans. The Titans are sitting at number 3.
Yeah, I was pumped up about it. I was like, oh, some people are paying attention nationally.
Well, and they have to when you sign Calvin Ridley, when you've made the draft picks that the Titans have, when you got Tony Pollard, and you've made all of those changes. And not to mention you got Snead from the Kansas City Chiefs after he already got franchise tagged, and you brought him over. Like, there's no way you haven't improved. Like, they had to be on this list. Then he has the Jets at number 2. That confuses me. Like, I'm thinking, I mean, what, is Aaron Rodgers being healthy? Is that the way they've improved?
I think they made some O-lineman changes.
I mean, maybe that's it.
Additions for protection. That's the only thing I could think of on the Jets. That one was a little questionable, but I think he thinks the Jets are going to improve just because he is back. So it brings a somewhat stabilization because of who he is and what he's done in this league. Now, we still got to see him come back from a torn Achilles, which we don't, I assume he could be the same guy, but you don't know that until you start watching him play again, especially when you get up there in age. I don't care what position you're playing. That does matter, especially your lower body.
Well, and you talked about just a second ago when you were talking about Albert Haynesworth is, all right, you've
probably in a 1 year was the best defensive player in Titans history.
But at the same time, now he's
him
coming
and
back.
Curses, it'd be interesting in a 1 year window.
If in all seriousness, if Aaron Rodgers played this year and wrapped it up, would we be shocked? I mean,
that's an interesting
seriously.
question.
So it goes back to the motivation of how motivated is he?
So what do you think motivates Aaron Rodgers at this point? I know the answer in my mind. I could be wrong though. What do you think motivates him right now, today?
I don't think that for me, I don't think it's winning. Because
I absolutely do. Here's why.
And that's why I'm curious about it.
He's got one championship. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of quarterbacks got one. There's not a lot of them that have two or more. And so that is what I think motivates him. I think it is about the winning. At this point in time, I think he's come to realization, and not when he got to the Jets. He's got to get one more to put him on this pedestal of you're different than all the ones who have won one. We know some that won one just good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And some are elite on that list. Why did you think Drew Brees was still playing?
Well,
he wanted to get two. I think that's why Aaron Rodgers is really playing, because he can hang it up easy right now and walk away and still be one of the best, and he's getting the Hall of Fame, all of that. So that's the only reason to me that he is actually playing, because he wants to get one more Super Bowl.
Well, and I'm looking at the roster, though, and I'm thinking, does this roster that he has specifically, offensively, because we know he brought in his boy and all that sort of stuff.
Well, he's got two legit receivers.
He's got good receivers. You're still waiting to see if Breece Hall can come back from the injuries as well. Does he have the offense and the defense that we can see him beating the Chiefs?
The defense is legit. Yeah. The Jets' defense is legit. They're solid. They're better than the Titans. I'm going to say that right now.
Well, that's why I asked. Does he have the team?
They got the defense. I think he feels like you put him in the team that they have today, not based off of last season. I think he thinks they are competitive. They're a playoff contending team, and he understands anything could happen once you make it to the playoffs, especially with him at the helm. When you got an elite quarterback at the helm, you get into the playoffs, I think, you got a shot. I think he believes that. I think they have the roster to be a playoff contending team.
So them playing in the AFC Championship this year, you wouldn't sit back and go, "Wow, I didn't see this coming."
No, I would not.
Okay, and that's why I asked.
Now, I'm a different guy in that when I look at the Titans roster or schedule right now, everybody says they have a week. They play in the fourth weakest schedule. This upcoming season. I differ on that because I look at who the quarterbacks they are playing. And to me, that's not easy. So I know some of them are young, but they are high draft pick guys, but they're also elite quarterbacks. So I don't think the Titans schedule is easy. In my eyes, I look at it as a tough schedule. So that's the prism I'm looking at it in other issues too. I think he's got a shot. Aaron Rodgers, if he shows that he is still the old Aaron Rodgers, I think they have a shot.
Well, and that's why.
No doubt about it.
And so but then you look at the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot. Now, the Buffalo Bills lost some of their
weapons.
They
lost a lot.
But they've signed some guys who may step up. You got Samuel. You got Keon Coleman, who they drafted. And who else did they get? They got one more other guy because they lost Diggs and Gabriel in the free agency. Diggs in a trade, Gabriel in a free agency. They signed one more receiver.
Keon Coleman.
I said Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman.
Coleman and Samuel.
Curtis Samuel, and then that's pretty much their major.
And they drafted
Matt
somebody.
Collins. They added Matt Collins from Atlanta.
Okay.
So
didn't they draft a receiver too?
I believe they did as well. Xavier Johnson. They added him as well. They added also Lawrence Keys in the draft. And those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. They also added Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So they added MVS.
Oh, no. And you know who I'm thinking about? You were forgetting. It just hit me. Who was the kid from Notre Dame that got drafted by Pittsburgh in the second round? Claypool.
Yeah,
they signed
Claypool.
him.
They added Claypool as well.
And I'm not saying he's legit, but they're now doing it. They're trying to do it by groups instead of one. Mm-hmm. Sometimes in football, chemistry is key, and you have multiple players that are good players. I'm not saying Claypool or whoever else is. Sometimes works out better than having one elite guy.
Right, and that kind of goes back to this Tennessee baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry on this team was amazing.
It was. That's why I love that team.
Right,
because they were a team.
Mm-hmm.
Their pitching came through when they needed. Their bats came through when they needed. Different bats, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it wasn't even the big-name guys. It was some guys at the end of the roster, in the batting order. So, I mean, I love teams like that. And so I wouldn't the Bills are always going to be in play with Allen at the helm. Well, come on now.
What makes this really interesting is who was.
But he hasn't won a big one.
He's not won a big one.
See, and I think he puts all the pressure on himself, and I think the organization kind of does too, based off what they're doing. So I think maybe they felt like Diggs was more the issue. Give me the ball. I'm not getting the ball. And even though they're doubling me, still throw me the ball, and he was getting in Josh Allen's head. This is what it tells me. Because that nucleus of guys is not elite by any stretch of the imagination. Some of these guys haven't even proven that they can be consistent in a season. So you just never know how chemistry works. And I'm a big proponent of chemistry. It's better than having one elite guy and having really good players in one group and that is better to me. So I really believe in that philosophy.
No, and I ask you that because we hadn't got to the team that was number one on Marcus Spears' list, which is the team.
I'm going to say that because I'm a Titan, former Titan now. Nobody on our roster outside of the living legend, if I can think of Bruce Matthews, is a Hall of Famer, like as of today. As of today. That doesn't mean Eddie or Mac or whoever, Frank or whoever. None. So we were that team.
Mm-hmm. And you bet you had the chemistry.
Right. See?
So with the Bears, and the Bears is the number one team on Marcus Spears' list, why do you think he put them at number one? Because they added Caleb Williams? Because they also brought in Rome Odunze? Like, what would be a reason why you would say the Bears are the number one team in the NFL that has improved the most this offseason?
Well, I think that's the key is the actual question. On paper, they addressed their quarterback in their minds. I still think Fields is a good player, and I think he's actually – I don't know what's going to happen with Fields, but I don't know. I'm hearing mixed reports on Caleb Williams right now, man. So, and so, and the additions at receiver, no doubt. They have a solid defense. They brought in Bayer to shore up the secondary. They have a proven, I think the kid Johnson at corner, elite corner, long. So they've got some pieces. They've added tight ends. I really believe it's the weaponry that they brought in with Williams. So they felt like, okay, they may not be a playoff team, but they're going to be competing in every game as long as the quarterback's development continues to grow sooner than later. That's why I love the Titans play them first game, by the way, because he's going to make some rookie mistakes. I'm sorry, there's no way around it.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's go look at Peyton Manning's record his rookie year. He led the NFL and still has the record for most interception, by the way, in his rookie season. And he turned into a Hall of Fame player. So you are going to make mistakes that rookie season that you just – until you experience it, will you actually know how fast the game is going and how they disguise and bait you into throws. I'm sorry. So I want them early. I just hope that they don't give any big plays where they make it easy for them to read. When I say that, and I don't think they will because of what I've been hearing out of the D.C. there with the Titans, is don't be blitzing just to be blitzing. Blitz with a purpose of disguise and deception. And sometimes it may look like we playing one-on-one, but we actually rolling coverage there. See, so that, because then you make it actually easier for the quarterback. If you just know you're blitzing, then he goes, oh, I got one-on-one. I'm going to just pick a guy, and I'm going to throw it to him, hopefully make a play.
Well, when we're going to ask Jordan Deany that when we come back here in just a few moments as well, because Chicago Bears and what you were talking about, all the changes that they've made, some people believe that they're the most improved team in the NFL. Big Jeff had something to say about it whenever he did an interview on Rich Eisen's show earlier, talking about
what did he say?
Oh, he's fired up to hit Caleb Williams. He's fired up.
He wants to put that on his resume. He got a sack on
We
him.
come back. You'll hear it before we go to Jordan Deany.
Oh, okay.
But we are live from the game terminal. We got some folks that are already starting to show up here as well for Arcade Dub, as a night in the very first one of Arcade Dub happening here at the game terminal, 201 Terminal Court. As we continue to go, and we also don't forget the NFL or the NBA draft, Dalton Connect. I mean, just
top five.
Top five. You look, they've broken it up into two nights. You got round one tonight. Round two is tomorrow. As a matter of fact, round two is going to start at 4:00 tomorrow, I believe, maybe even 3. And so 2 nights. At some point in time, you're going to have a Vogue walking across that stage. So
Ooh, can't
look
wait.
forward to that as well. So we'll continue from the game terminal. He is Blaine Bishop. I am Joe Hunk. We are brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. This is 104.5 The Zone.
For many of you who have lived here a long time, you already know Eurofix has been in Middle Tennessee area for your European car repair needs now for 24 years. We've all gotten to watch them grow. And I don't know about you, but I love watching a hometown business take off. Well, we're now proud to announce the 5th location in Mount Juliet for Eurofix on Mount Juliet Road, right across the street from Dairy Queen. And Eurofix can serve you in Franklin, Hundred Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. Pretty cool getting to watch a small-town mechanic starting in the barn of his backyard of a single-wide trailer and now grow to 5 locations repairing thousands of cars each month. And at Eurofix, you get a 3-year nationwide warranty and a free loaner car with every repair appointment. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can just visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. But always tell them Blaine said you. Well, I thought everybody was fair today.
Joe Hunk, Blaine Bishop, the hitman, who apparently will not be doing any hitting.
I know, yeah. Rich just told me I got bamboozled.
So as we are live at the game terminal for the very first ever arcade dub going on here tonight, 210 Terminal Court here in Nashville, as there are tons of arcade games, pinball games. You've got racing. Just a little while ago, Eki was playing Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Eki?
If you
CJ?
ever, CJ, if you remember ever seeing that video game, Michael Jackson.
Oh.
He's dressed all in the whites.
That was special.
And it was from the music video when he started doing like the moonwalk and the lean for the first time.
Ooh,
it's all
that's
based on that.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe. Oh man, you seen that live?
I've never.
You almost feel like there's something holding them up.
No,
You
there's
feel
a
like
reason.
it is.
You know why? Because I was planning on going to London to see Michael Jackson perform in London, and then he had to die. I blame Michael Jackson.
Stop.
I was going to go. I was planning to go to. Dude was going to put on like 30 shows. I'm
Kirby,
I'm going to London.
Stop him.
I
He's
was
up here
going-
talking about dead people. He's talking about Michael Jackson.
What? Look, I can't help it. Michael Jackson died when I was going to go to London.
Now, hold on, doggone second. What are you saying here?
So he asked me, because we was talking about Moonwalk. We're about to get to Jordan Deany on this here in just a second as well. We're going to talk to him about real football. But the video game Moonwalker.
Right.
And I was like, Blaine says, "Do you ever see him do this live?" I said, "No," because I planned on going to London to see Michael Jackson perform when he was going to do his residency, and then he had to go die.
Right.
And he said, "Stop telling him. You got to come over here and tell me stop talking about dead people."
As long as he's not seeing dead people, I think we're good to go.
Oh, okay.
No, but I'm just saying.
Well, speaking on another bad, not a dead note, but they have a video game, a football game, and I'm not on it for the Titans. They got during my era.
NFL.
What's it called?
NFL Blitz 2000.
NFL Blitz 2000.
It's back there. Eddie George is on there. Steve McNair is on there.
Oh, you're going offense, okay, but defense, they have my partner in crime, Mark Robb.
But they do not.
They got Kevin Dyson.
They don't have Blaine Bishop.
Yeah, because I told them that they cannot put nothing about me on nothing unless they pay me. They got to pay me because we used to sit there and like, how are we on games and we're not getting paid? So I said, you better eliminate my name off of everything.
Jordan Deany joins us right now from CBS Sports.
I was not the regular Joe Blow NFL athlete, man. That was smarter than the average Joe.
How is this a crime that Blaine Bishop is not on NFL Blitz 2000, Jordan?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on the show.
They said I got
I'm
hurt
glad
in
I
the
get to
Super
talk
Bowl.
to Joe Hunk today, man. This is like
how's it
Christmas.
going?
I love it.
Yeah, the Hunk,
Good.
Hunk and Hitman show. There we go.
He said it.
There you go. You got it. Yeah. No, I'm confused why Blaine isn't on there. What's going on, Blaine? You didn't write the contract. You didn't accept the money they were trying to give you.
I
and now
did not.
They don't own your rights.
No, they do not own my rights, man. I pulled a Marvin Harrison Jr. They do not own my rights. You have to get clearly. Somebody had a snafu there.
Jordan, before all this went down and we found out about NFL Blitz, we were talking about the Chicago Bears and the fact that Marcus Spears says that they are the most improved team going into 2024. What do you think?
No, I would not list the Chicago Bears as my number one team. If you wanted to throw them somewhere in the top five, that'd be fine by me. I would probably categorize their offseason moves as maybe boom or bust, right? I mean, Caleb Williams is this quote-unquote generational prospect, but the NFL is an entirely different game. We don't know if he's going to hit the ground running a la C.J. Stroud. I got a lot of faith in Rome Odunze as a wide receiver who can make an immediate impact. They traded for Keenan Allen from the Chargers. They signed a Pro Bowl running back in DeAndre Swift. But again, do they have the coaching staff in place to find that level of success that the Chicago fan base has been striving for a long time? So, no, I don't think the Chicago Bears would be my top team.
Well, who would be in your top three list?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do have a couple of teams I could throw out there. I mean, I've been pretty consistent talking about the Houston Texans. Yes, Titans fans, I think the Titans probably deserve to be in the top five. But with the Texans, I mean, you go out there and you get Daniil Hunter off the edge, which is something D'Amico Ryans wanted to address. You trade for Stephon Diggs, who I still think is a pretty elite wide receiver. But there's a lot of under-the-radar moves that Houston made. I mean, signing Mario Edwards on the line, Jeff Okudah, Fatu Kasi is another name on the defensive line.
Autry.
But they also Yeah, exactly. D'Amico Autry, Azeez Al-Shaair, we know how underrated those guys are. But they also re-signed several pieces that could play important roles. I mean, Derek Barnett, Tennessee legend. They re-signed Dalton Schultz at tight end as well. You know, I talked to Will Anderson Jr. a couple weeks ago, and he went on about how the new guys took to the locker room like they've been there forever. They've been natural fits in Houston. So I think the Texans did a great job this offseason. Another team, real quickly, the Detroit Lions. I mean, this is a team who's already seems to be a legitimate NFC contender, but they definitely had some holes to fill coming into this offseason, and I think they did that. They got Kevin Zeitler on the offensive line, who's an immediate starter. They fortified the trenches with DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport. But the main thing Detroit had to address was absolutely the secondary. That's the reason they did not get to the Super Bowl last year. So they did that by trading for cornerback Carlton Davis. They drafted Terrion Arnold. They got Rakestra out of Mizzou as well. So I'm looking at Detroit as a potential team that can unseat the 49ers in being that squad from the NFC.
Jordan Deany of CBS Sports joins us right now.
All right, Jordan, I have to ask you, man. There's all these rumors in San Francisco about Brandon Ayuk, man. What is going on here? Will he be staying with San Francisco, or will he be a no-show and traded, or somebody else will be traded and he gets paid by the 49ers?
Yeah, it remains to be seen if he's going to show up to training camp. But the bottom line is that Ayuk met with the 49ers on Monday, and in my opinion, that's good news for a resolution potentially being met soon. Now, I can't tell you definitively if that's going to be a new contract or if he's going to get traded or if he's just going to show up to training camp and play another year on this deal. You know, there has been trade rumors. There's no doubt about it. Adam Schefter talked about the Commanders having conversations. Of course, reuniting Ayuk with Jaden Daniels would be pretty sweet for those Commanders fans out in Washington. You also have to remember that Washington's new general manager, Adam Peters, came from San Francisco as well. But Schefter indicated that those talks kind of fell flat. There's been a lot of noise around the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. NFL media reported that their meeting on Monday went well. I don't think that means a deal is coming down the wire. We know that this wide receiver market has once again completely taken off. So the next domino to fall, in my opinion, is seeing if Ayuk is going to show up to training camp.
Well, with Jordan Deany, NFL writer for CBS Sports, you know I have to ask you, and I've been asking you a little while now, about Tua and what kind of money is he going to get. I think there's a lot of debate, and he's got an injury history. You know, they're trying to leverage all of that. But do you think he is going to be that $50 million type quarterback, or will he settle for less because of his past history? And do you, three-part, do you think he's deserving of that kind of money?
Man, yeah. So I think there's a good chance that this Trevor Lawrence contract was a massive domino to fall, right? He did not surpass Joe Burrow, but tied him in terms of that AAV money. And that, of course, makes life tougher for Miami, Green Bay, Dallas as well. And, you know, I told you guys that Tua was actually my pick to go first in the quarterback extensions. Instead, it was Trevor Lawrence, and now we have to really see what happens. But ESPN reported that the Dolphins have yet to offer Tua a quote-unquote market-level deal. So that means that the offers are lower than Lawrence's extension, but also under Jared Goff's extension as well, which is $53 million per year. So Miami right now, according to reports, they're trying to put Tua somewhere in that top 5, but not in the top 3. And if you're a quarterback, you know, if I was in his shoes, I'd be asking for more money as well, just looking at where the market goes. Now, Tua Tagovailoa is an interesting quarterback. I mean, I myself am a fan, but I can't claim he's the Ferrari that makes this offense go, right? He's not Joe Burrow. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. It's an offense that is really predicated on timing routes, and when it's hitting on all cylinders, it looks absolutely fantastic. And Tua, I mean, the bottom line is he's done a great job. He's improved every single year when it comes to his games won, when it comes to his completion percentage, when it comes to his passing yards, passing touchdowns. He continues to get better and better, and Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill have been completely instrumental with how Tua's track as a professional quarterback has gone. So this is where we are with this market. I mean, you have to pay this price if you want to keep him in the fold. I don't know if a contract is going to get done this offseason because, again, it's a huge investment to make in a quarterback that's making over $53 million per year. a way Miami can potentially get around that is how they structure the contract with how many years, how much guaranteed money. But again, you brought up the injury history. So is this a quarterback that you want to give a boatload, potentially record-breaking, well, I won't say record-breaking because Deshaun Watson, but a lot of guaranteed money to Tua Tagovailoa? Those are the questions that Miami's front office is going to have to address.
And I'm going to stay on the quarterback for my last question. That is Brock Purdy. Tua or Brock Purdy? Who would you choose and why?
Yeah, I think they're very similar quarterbacks because we're talking about, again, those offenses that are predicated on timing routes. But if you're giving me the choice between the two, I'm going to have to take Brock Purdy because there's, some upward mobility there. I mean, we're talking about a quarterback who led this offense to the Super Bowl in his first full season as a starter. That's pretty incredible. Again, I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but he's someone who I think is going to get better with time and with Kyle Shanahan and the weapons he has around him. So we've seen Tua Tagovailoa play more games, and that's probably why I'm going to take Brock Purdy because, again, we don't know what his potential is in this NFL league.
And there you have it, NFL writer for CBS Sports, Jordan Deany.
Jordan, there's one thing that you guys put out on your Instagram feed that I saw that was extremely interesting, and it was the fact that the Chiefs are thinking about using Justin Reed to handle kickoffs this season because of the new NFL rules. Do you think this is something that's going to catch on where players that are going to be kicking in for kickoffs just so they can add an extra defender?
The toughest part is finding a defender who can kick as good as Justin Reed, right? That's going to be the toughest part. So I don't know if it's something that can necessarily catch on, but I do think it's a good idea because with this new kickoff system, it's about getting the ball to that landing spot. It's not kicking it the furthest anymore. It's trying to get in that landing spot to facilitate a return, which is why the NFL made this change in the first place. But the main reason they want to do this, again, as you mentioned, is to have an extra defender on the field, and Justin Reed is a defender. So he's someone who has proven he can kick at an above-average rate when it comes to non-kickers at this level, and I think it's a good idea by the Chiefs.
Well, and flipping it around because, again, we're sitting here at the game terminal. I'm a huge gamer. Madden just dropped one of their trailers, and they had Justin Fields returning kickoffs. And so the thought is like, wait, is that something we could see where a Justin Fields, a Malik Willis, or somebody that's not being utilized at quarterback, is that something that we could see being done with this new kickoff rule?
I hope so. I think it'd be good for the league. I think it'd be good for fans. And I'm a big fan of the change in general because we're going to see more kick returns. And it would be awesome if we could see someone like a Lamar Jackson, which I know won't happen, but like a Derrick Henry or Treylon Burks, Jamar Chase, Justin Fields, an electric returner out there. And again, one thing that we've been talking about with some of my coworkers, with this return setup, it's not about the fastest player anymore. It's about breakaway speed, but also the ability to make defenders miss because you've got to break through that line and then take it to the house. So I think it opens the door for a lot of more interesting options when it comes to potential returners. And I think we actually did a piece on CBSSports.com, every team's ideal returner. And one of my cohorts ended up putting Treylon Burks as someone who probably Tennessee should probably consider in the backfield there returning kicks.
Staying with the quarterbacks, you said Fields may be a potential, or at least Mr. Hunk did, Fields may be a potential returner. Does he still have a shot to be the starter, I think? Because it seems like there's a lot of battling going on who's being, lauded to be the starter with him and Russell.
Right. I think Russell Wilson is going to end up starting week 1. I think they signed him to be the starter right now. But as I've told you guys before, everything in the NFL is a competition. So if Russell Wilson sleepwalks his way through training camp, then Justin Fields is going to have a chance to unseat him as the starter entering the regular season. Ultimately, I do think it's Russell Wilson. He's the veteran voice, albeit a new voice in that locker room, but someone that Mike Tomlin certainly has a level of trust in. It's going to be interesting to see how that how the season goes because the Pittsburgh Steelers certainly have some things to work with on offense, whether it's Roman Wilson, George Pickens, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren. They ended up really upgrading the offensive line as well. So I think the question I've been asking myself is Russell Wilson going to be bad enough to warrant a quarterback change in Pittsburgh if things don't go according to plan early in the season? Because, again, This is someone with a chip on his shoulder. He's not necessarily a quarterback I have a lot of faith in at this point in his career, but it's something that the Pittsburgh Steelers front office and coaching staff is really going to have to ask themselves, what is the long-term plan for Justin Fields? Like, he's only under contract for one more season, so is he going to be the future? Is he going to be someone who's competing for a starting job? I think it's one of the more interesting storylines to watch through training camp.
I know you're a UT guy, right? So you excited about that they brought home the World Series and everything?
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? That was the coolest thing in the world. I will say, I didn't watch every regular season baseball game, but I can tell you for a fact that I did not miss a single pitch in the postseason. From the Evansville series to the walk-up against Florida State, an absolutely incredible campaign. I'm a big Tony V fan, and I really hope this is the start of something special for Tennessee athletics. You got to see the head coach celebrate with Josh Heupel and Rick Barnes on the field there. I'm just hoping that the athletic department as a whole is on an upward trajectory. So as a former Vol, I'm super excited for what took place this past week.
Right, I'm sure they are. But I'm going to ask you this tough question, being a UT fan. Who gets a natty national championship first, football or basketball?
Man. Yes. I'll tell you, man, I hope it's football. I hope it's Nico Yamayalama guy, whose name I still can't pronounce. I'm hoping that he's the truth. Yeah, I'm hoping he's the truth, and I'm hoping he can really take this team where they want to go. Like last year, for example, I sprinkled some money on Tennessee to win the championship because Joe Milton was walking into a pretty favorable situation, right? The defense improved. So I was hoping if Joe Milton could play his best ball, Tennessee could be legitimate contenders. Of course, that's not how things went. But with an upgrade at quarterback, I'm hoping that Tennessee can reach that next level, especially with the playoff field being, increased. So I'm really excited about the prospects of Tennessee football in general.
Well, Jordan, we appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much for coming on with us every single week. And we're going to now put a petition out just because of what you said and what Blaine just talked about of getting Blaine put into NFL Blitz 2000 retroactively.
Oh, man, I can't believe they snafu'd me.
Let's go, man. I'll be the first one to sign it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, he is Jordan Deany of CBS Sports. And we come back. We've talked about the Bears, and apparently Big Jeff is ready to go for week one as we broadcast live from the game terminal. Joe Hunk, he is Blaine Bishop. We are brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, this is Blaine Bishop. I want to know if you have heard about peptides. And peptides are shaking up the fitness world. There are naturally occurring aminos in our bodies. And as we age and they start to decline, you start to decline, at some point you may need to be supplemented. This is why your workouts can stop being productive at the gym. So maybe you feel like you've hit a wall, or perhaps you feel tired all the time. Maybe you're struggling to stay awake in the evenings when you get home from work. Well, if you have that thought, this is just normal part of aging. It doesn't have to be that way. Peptides are proven to increase muscle and performance, burn fat, help with recovery between workouts, and more. And peptides can even help with motivation and mental clarity. These are safe, naturally occurring aminos, not pharmaceuticals, a natural and holistic way to get your body back to peak performance. Plus, Edge Peptide Therapy has the most comprehensive blood panel around. So when you go to Edge, you will know exactly what is going on inside of your body and what it needs to do to get back to peak performance, just like I did. So feel better from the inside out. So go to edgepeptide.com, that's edgepeptide.com, or call them at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878.
Wrapping up the show today as we are live from the game terminal. We are only now about 12 minutes away from Arcade W's getting started here at the game terminal, 201 Terminal Court, as 3HL is about to broadcast here in just a little bit as well. Blaine, we have the...
Yeah, just saw Brent.
Yep.
Haven't seen the rest of the crew.
They showing up. They're going to show up in a minute, mainly because
they hide.
We've got
VIP room.
We got people already that are on the arcade games. We've got some people that are already hopping in on pinball. We've got Zone listeners hanging out here as well. The Zone TV is going with F&M Bank.
Some of the best Titans fans. Scoop was out.
Scoop is here as well.
Yeah.
Scoop is somewhere. He's right down. He's right down over there.
Yeah,
but
getting ready for the Titan putt deal that's going on later this evening.
Oh, dang.
It's a putt track.
Heck yeah.
Downtown, yeah.
Also, somebody want to let
Season
you
ticket
know
holders.
that you're actually on NFL Blitz 2002.
Oh, okay.
You're not on 2000, but 2002.
They did that because I got knocked out of the Super Bowl. That's why it was 2000. They knocked me out and said he can't be in the
Man,
game.
couldn't he play the last half of the Super Bowl? We're not putting him on NFL Blitz.
So 2002, did they have me with the Titans?
That's what I was about to say. 2002, weren't that being the Eagles thing, wasn't it?
It might have been. I don't know. See, it's a bigger market. They brought me back into the game.
Yeah.
See, they always just slighting the Titans, man.
Well, no, and that's it. And disliking the Titans is kind of what got Big Jeff fired up today on.
I gotta hear this.
On Rich Eisen. So he talked about two things. One, he talked about Caleb Williams. We'll have that one in just a second. But what you just talked about was how everybody is always slighting the Titans, and the Titans are always being overlooked. Here's what Big Jeff had to say on Rich Eisen.
Speaking on behalf, if I may, of the national media, of which I am a part, there's no doubt in my mind that entire game leading up to it will be all about the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, and Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze, and what the Bears have done to get Caleb Williams all set up. And you guys will be absolutely an afterthought. There's no doubt in my mind about it.
Oh, definitely.
And I would say that to you with no conviction at all.
I get it. When you got a first-round pick like Caleb Williams himself, which is a great player. Watch him a couple of games when he was at USC, and, he's a hell of a player. But it's a different league, and, I'm excited to play him the first game.
Well, because I'm sure you're well aware of what's going on in the rest of the sports world right now, say with Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, right? Yep, exactly. And how there's a lot of players in that grown woman league that has been eager to welcome her to the professional ranks.
Oh, definitely.
And you kind of are going to be the guy that could lead the forefront to do that to Caleb Williams.
That's like the goal. Like, that's my mindset. Then again, I really don't care who it may be.
Sure.
It could be, Tom Brady, first game of the season. I want to go out there and set the tone, not just for him, but for who we are trying to be as a defense and as a team in Tennessee. So, but like you said, it is one of them games where it's real first NFL game, and, I just hopefully, we're not out to hurt no one, but at the same time, our goal is to get to him, and, it's like you said, welcome to the NFL.
Welcome to the NFL.
Oh, yeah. So it's not going to be easy. Hey, I agree with everything Big Jeff said. And Rich Eisen, he was doing his job, and all those things were true. But when you get in the NFL, people don't understand. Just because you had a lot of success in college doesn't always translate to success, especially in the first game, first season.
Let me ask you.
So the game is so much faster. It took me 4 games to get adjusted to the speed of the game.
In 2000, after you guys, in 2000 when you guys went to the Super Bowl the previous season, you're coming back. Were Titans still being overlooked in 2000, even though you had just played in the Super Bowl? Because they're being overlooked now, and they're overlooked a lot of times throughout every year we get ready for the season.
I would say I'm gonna just look at it from a defensive perspective. I would say defensively, we were.
Yeah.
We were the number one defensive, but all they ever talked about was the Baltimore Ravens because they were number one in other categories, and because they did a lot of I'm gonna call BS crap talking all the time to the media in a bigger market, so they got more visibility where we were more workmanlike and having class with us, and let's throw it on the field, and that's about it. We're going to show you when we get out there. All that yapping, that's all good for college. You get in the pros, man, do that yapping, see how much we slap you in the face, bust you in the mouth. Because at the end of the day, it's about balling. So, yeah, I think that goes on in the league, and, smaller markets don't get the advertisement. And guess what? I'm not mad at them because they're trying to, get ratings and they're trying to get sales and everything else. So I get it. But at the same time, if you deserve it, you should get it.
Oh, trust me. ESPN salivates anytime anything from New York happens. Like his trade with the Knicks happened.
Well, I'm tired of the Dallas talk.
Over it.
Oh,
Dallas!
My gosh, they can't stop enough.
I mean, the times that things like that, where you're talking about like the Knicks or the Cowboys or Lakers, it's all over. Titans could literally sign the greatest player in NFL history and be like, he's over the hill.
Book it now. Titans take down Caleb Williams and the Bears.
With that being said, we're going to hang out for a little bit longer here at Game Terminal. 3HL is next, but in the meantime,
and as always, in between time,
peace.